This is All Hallows Eve on our 31 spooky movies of Halloween. All Hallows Eve is an anthology horror film, and you know how much I love those. This movie has 3 main segments wrapped together by a framing story about a babysitter who finds an unmarked VHS tape in a trick-or-treat bag and decides to watch it with 2 children because, you know, that's a totally normal thing to do. Hey kids, do you want to watch some future potential FBI evidence? I'm being unfair, I guess. She lets the kids watch the tape because the kids really want to watch it, and so begins a night of not so much terror, but more of a night of, okay, well, I guess this is happening. It all goes to show, don't ever do what kids want. They're dumb and annoying and will get everyone killed. The first story in All Hallows Eve is about an alien intruder. Here, a woman is stalked and kidnapped by a guy in a very cheap alien mask who makes her life a nightmare. In other words, the terror of this scene comes from how disturbingly little the filmmaker spent on effects. $17 at Spirit Halloween would be my guess. The second story sees a woman drugged and abducted, chained up, and forced to witness a creepy ritual, and then is ultimately sacrificed. At first, it looks like a creepy satanic ritual, but it's really just page 417 of Project 2025. But the standout of this film, by default, is Art the Clown. Yes, that Art the Clown, who appears in the third segment and terrorizes a woman. Because of course he does. Art, for his part, makes up for the movie's lack of substance with an unsettling silence and face paint that probably cost more than that entire alien getup from the first story. Mike Giannelli plays Art in this movie rather than David Howard Thornton, who plays him in the Terrifier movies. It seems so petty of me to say so, but I do think Thornton is the superior clown as he can communicate greater menace with a look. Now, I'm not saying that Giannelli is a bad Art, I'm just saying you'll be making comparisons and, well, that's a comparison. If you are into watching a horror movie that feels like it was made by someone who really hates their audience, All Hallows Eve is for you. A lot like the Terrifier movies, it seems like an exercise in pure, mean-spirited misery for misery's sake, made by miserable people and enjoyed by miserable people. No offense if that's one of you. You keep being miserable. I know that this seems edgy and dark, but really, all it accomplishes is making every story you tell predictable, robbing every tale of suspense. I mean, do you honestly expect any of these people to escape? You know they're all gonna die, and you're just waiting for it. No suspense at all. This is the type of film that tries to do a Saw-type story without realizing that Saw only worked because the victims sometimes escaped. When you realize that All Hallows Eve is really nothing more than psychological and then physical torture porn, you realize it will be little more than that, giving all the segments a frustrating type of sameness. Now, if you're the kind of person who lives for retro aesthetics, you might find something to latch onto here. Now, there's this grainy VHS footage, washed out color palette that certainly seems to scream 70s horror, but even the film's nod to that beloved Grindhouse era can't save it from its ultimate mission: to be as grim and as pointless and as dull as possible. The only redeeming quality, and I use that term as loosely and lightly as I can, is the introduction of Art the Clown, who would later star in the Terrifier movies. Art's weirdly unsettling presence almost makes up for the rest of this slog. He certainly has the best segment, but let's be real, Art's the only one who bothered to show up for this party. Oh, wait. I don't like the Terrifier movies either. Why am I saying that this clown is a positive? The only time that this clown tested positive for anything was his last hepatitis test. In summary, All Hallows Eve is like a bag of Halloween candy filled with razor blades, except in this case, the candy is terrible and the razor blades are dull. If you enjoy horror that is cruel for cruelty's sake, with zero tension and a lot of, why is this happening? Then hey, Knock yourself out. For everyone else, maybe just pop in a real 1970s horror flick instead. You'll get the aesthetics and the scares. In all fairness, though, I know that there are a lot of you who are fans of these movies, and so I say, you do you. I say go ahead and put this on your list of 31 spooky movies of Halloween, because I sure won't.